Thursday night here at Texas Student Television. Do you know what that means?
Another awesome episode of Sneak Peek, of course.
That's right, and boy, do we have a great show for you guys.
We've got some awesome South by interviews.
We've got a new list of the week and some movie reviews.
And we have a great new news desk with catching us all up on Hollywood's hottest stuff.
So sit tight and stay tuned. Derek, do you watch the news?
No, who does anymore?
Apparently Rachel does.
Oof, awkward. Well, Rachel's at our news desk, so take it away, Rachel.
Hey there, I'm Rachel Robillard, and I'm here to share with y'all the top entertainment news of the week. We all know Zayn Malik's left One Direction last week, which I am still not over. But now Nina Dobrev is leaving The Vampire Diaries. Say it ain't so. Why are my favorites leaving the Hollywood spotlight? The original cast member of the CW's Vampire Diaries confirmed Monday via her Instagram post that she'll depart the show after this season. On her Instagram post, Dobrev said, "I always knew I wanted Elena's story to be a 6-season adventure. And within those 6 years, I got the journey of a lifetime. You'll be missed, Nina." Juliana Rancic's Instagram posts have additionally been getting a lot of attention. E! News host Juliana Rancic posted a picture of her newly released memoir, Going Off Script. In her book, Rancic opens up about her childhood, surviving cancer, and her family. She even goes as far as confessing that maybe it's time to slow down and enjoy more quality time with her husband, Bill Rancic, and son, Duke. However, there is no slowing down for the Fast and Furious films. Furious 7 peeled out of the gates in its opening weekend, picking up a stunning $143.6 million and shattering the box office record for the entire franchise. Paul Walker's tragic death left many filmgoers wondering if Furious 7 would mark the end of the series. But clearly, that's not the game plan. Although Walker isn't replaceable, there are several other characters and story ideas for future movies to focus on instead. Saying goodbye to Brian O'Connor makes me feel blue. And speaking of blue, blue hair has been a reoccurring hairstyle among celebrities. From Katy Perry to Kylie Jenner to Hilary Duff and now Amber Rose, these celebrities have caused the biggest stir when it comes to hair color. There are many rumors about Amber Rose's recent blue do. Why did she do it? Is she sad and blue over Wiz Khalifa? Well, it is no rumor that Amber wants her ex-husband Wiz Khalifa back. In a lengthy Instagram post last week, which was attached to a photo of them tonguing each other down at the 2011 MTV VMAs, Amber called Wiz her man crush and a whole lot more. It is unclear whether or not Wiz feels the same. Hopefully, the two can work things out. That's all the entertainment news I have for this week. Stay tuned next week for more News Desk. Back to y'all.
You know, Derek, I'm getting ready to graduate from college in a month, and the pressure is really on, to find a job. But it's really reassuring knowing that people who have been in our very spots have done really well and done really big things.
Exactly, like our own Bernie Burns, right?
That's right. He actually founded this show that we're talking on right now.
And I hear he also founded Rooster Teeth.
Yep.
And you know what also I heard?
What?
Our very own Edward has an interview with him.
Roll it.
Hey, it's Edward with Sneak Peek, and we are here with one of the OG Sneak Peekers, Bernie Burns.
The OGest of OGs. I've never felt so short in an interview before. I'm 6'2". How tall are you?
6'5".
That's a nightmare. So I started Sneak Peek actually back
How long is it?
I think it was like 94 I started it.
Okay.
I started to get free tickets to go see movies. That was the entire purpose of the show that you're watching.
Did it work?
It worked like a charm. We got to go see all these incredible movies like Fear and Leaving Las Vegas. I mean, no movies that you would ever remember today. But I will say that the interview that I did with Adam Sandler
On the phone, yep.
for Happy Gilmore, that thing has chased me for like the last 15, 20 years.
Did you ever think back at your TACB days or your Sneak Peek days that you would, be making a movie that would be talked about on Sneak Peek?
Oh, sure. I mean, especially in college, I was pie in the sky. I had tons of ambition and everything. And so what I didn't know then was how hard the process was going to be, of like building up online. I mean, I didn't know back then that, you know, the internet would reach a point where people would watch video on the internet, which is what I do now,
That's
what
insane.
I'm most known for. But yeah, I started Sneak Peek because I had a love for film, and I thought, you know, I'll be making, you know, theatrical movies like 2 years after college. That's the way this works. You know, and then you go out and start a career, and reality sets in a little bit. And then here we are about 15 years later, and we're
finally
talking about a
done.
movie on Sneak Peek. Yeah.
How far back does the idea of Laser Team go? Like college days of just like that, like the concept.
Well, the concept goes back probably about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
It came out of a pitch session that we were doing, and I had this idea for, you know, if alien technology fell in the wrong hands, because you always
Sure.
hear the story of the great hero who gets his stuff, and like the Iron Man suit ends up with Iron Man because he
Yeah.
built it, and so he's the guy who should run it. So that'd be funny to have a comedy where,
A bunch of idiots get it.
right, you know, it gets to the unintended recipients.
But what would you say biggest piece of advice of trying to make it after they graduate?
I think the biggest thing is just get started. We just did a panel here at South by, and I said that the last time YouTube even bothered to publish the stats, which was about 2 years ago, they posted that every minute on YouTube, 100 hours of footage are uploaded. And that's a very sobering statistic, that 100 hours of footage go up on the platform every minute.
That is sober.
It's just nuts. And it's just everyone is making content now. The barriers to technology just aren't there anymore. You know, those barriers to entry, as technology gets better and better, you know, the camera that I have in my pocket is better than the camera I used to shoot my first movie with.
Sure.
So everybody can make content, and as a result, a lot of people do. And so I would say you absolutely have to get started. If you have a good idea for a piece of content, don't mean to scare you, but chances are if you have a good idea, somebody else probably also has that same idea, and they're probably already working on it. That's happened to me a number of different times over the years where I see something come out and I go, well, I can't use that
Son of a
idea
bitch.
anymore. So get started as soon as possible.
All right. Well, thank you very much from the OG Sneak Peeker, Bernie Burns. And Laser Team comes out.
Comes out this August. That's what we're planning for. We
August.
don't have an official release date yet, but we will let Sneak Peek know first.
All right. Very exclusive, and then no one will watch it, and then it'll spread out throughout the web.
But we'll all go see free movies together.
Yes, exactly. Thanks so much, Bernie.
Thank you.
God, Chelsea, I just love South by interviews.
I know, and we had a really great year. We talked to a lot of really awesome people.
We totally did. You know what else is awesome?
What?
We have some more South by interviews coming up after this break.
You know, Dirk, I have a really bad habit of reading Rotten Tomato movie reviews before I see the movie, and they're really, really harsh.
Same, it kind of ruins the movie for me.
Right? Right? It does. And luckily, we have our own movie critic here at Sneak Peek.
That's right. We have Gerardo here in the studio who's going to be reviewing Danny Collins.
Hey guys, my name's Gerardo, and I'm here to talk Danny Collins, the movie. Now, Danny Collins would make a charming family comedy, where not packaged with an R rating. Luckily, it's a senior crowd pleaser with an amiable appeal for the less aged adult range. Clocking in at just a bit over 100 minutes, writer and director Dan Fogelman's latest project boasts a stellar cast and a charming lead, but may restrain all this talent by the old-fashioned approach he took as reflected by the actions of the main character. Al Pacino stars as Danny Collins, a senior rock star from the 60s, now stuck in an existential rut, performing the same songs he became famous for to sold-out concerts, and coming home to a mansion that feels empty despite the much younger, prenup-agreeable fiancé waiting at a shower. At his next birthday party, Danny's best friend and manager, Frank, in a candid performance from Christopher Plummer, presents to him a famed letter written to the musician by John Lennon almost 40 years ago. Following an interview in which Danny had declared his anxiety towards his rising fame, Lennon personally penned a letter to the young musician, encouraging him to stay true to his artistry. With the right sign from the cosmos to confirm his dissatisfaction with life, Danny sets out to search for everything neglected through 40 years of hard drinking, drug use, and repetitive concerts to the same audiences. In his quest for personal redemption, he pulls through all the familiar pit stops. He starts by ending his engagement to the young fiancée and isolating himself in a hotel room to write original music, and canceling his tour to visit and reconnect with his estranged son, Tom, played here by Bonnie Cannibal, who is a talented actor amidst cinematic veterans. Danny also has the energy to pursue the awkward and assertive hotel manager, Mary, played by the wonderful Annette Bening, with reliance on their good patter. While this sounds like the setup for familiar weepy comedies, Danny Collins is surprisingly charming and effective. The extensive use of John Lennon songs could compete with the glossy luxury presented here, but the soundtrack does add dramatic heft to the rocker's nostalgic journey. An old-fashioned and obvious tearjerker, this movie benefits greatly from the charms and talent of its cast. Al Pacino's character courts women and greets fans the same way he has been doing for 40 years. Benny Minks for an endearing Mary, and Jennifer Garner as Tom's wife Samantha naturally embodies the role of a sincere and supportive wife, mother, and daughter-in-law. I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Despite the great acting and well-directed emotional mush, Danny Collins may not bait in any Oscars this season, but it will be a pleasant hour and 40 minutes for audiences and critics alike, an occurrence everyone can be happy about. That's all, folks. Back to you, Chelsea and Derek.
Thanks for that awesome review, Geraldo. Chelsea, you know what? I might have to go see that movie.
Yeah, me too. But you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
More South by Southwest interviews.
That's right. Up next, we have Chelsea, who got an excellent interview with the cast and crew of the movie, The Overnight. Take it away, Chelsea.
Hey guys, it's Chelsea. I'm standing here on the red carpet for The Overnight at South by Southwest. All right, so you wrote the film. What were the biggest obstacles did you have to adapt it all between script to film?
Yeah, for sure. I think you can have an idea when you're writing a script of how things are going to work out or how certain lines are going to sound, and when you get on set, it's not necessarily always that case. So one of the things, at least for me, I felt was helpful was I would workshop the script with all the actors at the beginning of each day, and we would go through and sort of try to nail down the scenes according to each person's individual personality. Not try to force anything. Really try to, because the movie really has this sort of naturalistic feel to it, and that's what I wanted to get. I didn't want to force anything. I wanted to bring out the best in what the actors were bringing to it.
What are you hoping that audiences leave thinking or feeling when they walk out?
I just hope they have a great time. I hope it's a blast. I hope it's funny. I hope they felt like they were taking on a bit of a ride. Those are my favorite kind of movies. I really set out to make an entertaining film. That was one of the highest priorities for me, for sure.
What is the most outrageous thing you've done or you would do for a film, do you think?
What do you mean by average?
Or outrageous, how they wore
the average, I was like, well, outrageous. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is one of the most outrageous thing I did for a movie. Let me think. Yeah, I mean, I did some kind of crazy things in French movies too, but it's funny because when I read the script and I was reading the scenes where I have to do some kind of sexual things with people that I don't know and so all sorts of things. This is really the line that's going to bring people into this theater, which I just said. It's like, okay. I mean, it's like it makes the movie sound so sexual, which is funny. No, I mean, it's so subtle, it's so well shot, and I was never worried about the scenes, and as crazy as they could seem, I was like, I trust this guy, and I know he has taste, he's classy. So I was never worried it would be over the top and kind of gross. Yeah, so it's never gross, although it's gross, it's never gross.
What drew you to the script?
Well, I loved it. I actually couldn't believe I had a chance to be in it. It was just such a great opportunity for me. I loved it because it was a real mashup of really big jokes and big things that will get a lot of people to laugh, and then more sweet moments, really connected character stuff. So,
do you think you share any similar qualities with your character, Kurt?
Oddly enough, I probably do. I in real life, I get kind of nervous or introverted, but the way I make up for it is overcompensating with gregariousness, and I think that's where this character's coming from. He's real confident, and I mean, not that I seem confident in real life, but he seems real kind of he's a host. But in real life, he's not really like that.
Summer break, winter break, spring break. I love them all, but you know which break I don't like, Chelsea?
Commercial break.
Yeah. We've got a break coming up for you guys right now.
Derek, as I get older, my patience for cartoon movies grows smaller and smaller. I just want to see actors acting, you know?
I agree. And you know what? I hear Disney's making some of their old movies into live action, like Cinderella.
Yeah, I heard that. And Beauty and the Beast as well.
You know what also I heard?
What?
We have Jillian here in the studio who is going to be telling us about the list of the week of the movies that we want to see Disney turn into live action.
Let's take it away, Jillian.
Hey sneak peekers, Jillian here with your list of the week. Disney's recent release of the Cinderella live action, arguably the most classic fairy tale of all time, has been killing it in the box office charts. This week they slipped comfortably into a $400 million glass slipper. The movie stars include Downton Abbey's Lily James as Cinderella, Richard Madden from Game of Thrones as Prince Charming, Cate Blanchett as the evil stepmother, and even Helena Bonham Carter as the sprightly fairy godmother. While Harry Potter fans were excited to see their Bellatrix Lestrange have magical powers once again, they couldn't help but feel a little disappointed that she wasn't caught turning a pumpkin into a carriage for Hermione Granger. That's right, the one and only Emma Watson was the first choice for the leading role of Cinderella, but she turned down that role and thankfully has plans to be working on A Tale as Old as Time. She has been cast as Belle in Disney's newest live-action remake of The Beauty and the Beast. See, Potter fans, dreams that you wish for really do come true. The movie is set to release in 2017 and will also star Dan Stevens, Emma Thompson, and Josh Gad, otherwise known as the voice of Olaf, or Frozen's comedic relief in the form of a snowman. It seems as if Disney is playing it pretty safe recently by dipping into lots of its past hits and banking off the success of its classics. The widespread popularity of 2010's Alice in Wonderland has spun a sequel titled Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass to be released in 2016. In 2016, Disney also plans to release a live-action and CGI remake of The Jungle Book. However, Warner Brothers has some news from Disney that oopie-doo, they want to be like you. They are also in the works of a rival live-action sequel titled Jungle Book Origins that has been set to release the following year. This is not the first time that two remakes of a classic will be released around the same time. Don't forget that Snow White and the Huntsman, as well as Mirror Mirror starring Julia Roberts and Lily Collins, premiere within a few months of each other in 2012. The Huntsman did much better in the box office, but that was only because girls like myself everywhere paid to swoon over Chris Hemsworth, not to watch Kristen Stewart have the same emotionless face for 2 hours like she did in all the other Twilight movies. Another rumored movie to be in the works is Cruella, a live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians focused on the chain-smoking, puppy-killer villain Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. An adaptation was already made in 1996, but this newer remake is definitely Disney's attempt to jump on the success of Maleficent, which told the story of Sleeping Beauty's villain and basically focused on Angelina Jolie's over-exaggerated cheekbones the whole runtime. Yesterday, it was released that a live-action adaptation of Pinocchio is also in the works. You heard right, this time Pinocchio really will be a real boy. Peter Hedges, who wrote Dan in Real Life and About a Boy, is set to write the script. It has been rumored that Tim Burton may be directing, but similar rumors have also been circulating that he's already on board of an adaptation of Dumbo. Now, I love a good Disney movie more than I probably should, but it almost seems as if this live-action craze is getting a little out of hand. Personally, I think if they're going to keep making live-action adaptations, which they inevitably will, then The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, and Mulan need to be next on the list. Can you imagine all the special effects on those? Maybe even include one of those often overlooked ones like Atlantis, The Lost Empire, or even a remake of Lilo and Stitch to help me relive my childhood. Well, that's all the time I've got. I'm sure Disney already has plans to make a new remake while I've been talking. Back to you guys.
You know what, Chelsea? I feel like a lot of movies and TV shows all have this kind of zombie influence to them.
Oh, absolutely. They have so many classic zombie movie remakes, and The Walking Dead is super popular, and they have their new spin-off show coming out this summer. There's just so much, but people are just really into it still.
And I also hear that the CW is coming out with its own zombie spin-off called iZombie.
That's right, and our Shane O'Neill went and talked to the cast and crew of the show. Take it away.
Hey, Sneak Peek, it's Shane, and we're here at the red carpet for iZombie. The zombie genre has kind of blown up in the recent years. How do you think iZombie kind of makes its mark on that?
Well, I was nervous when I read a pilot called iZombie because I felt like, you know, The Walking Dead is on air at the moment and is like the zombie genre is done well by another show. And then I read the script and it was nothing like zombies as I knew them. Not only is it a zombie genre show, but it's also a procedural and it's romantic and it's comedic and dramatic and it's got really a bit of everything. And I think it's refreshing to see a zombie show where the character knows that zombies exist in pop culture and it's self-aware like that. So I think we have our own spin on it very much.
And Rob's kind of know with like Veronica Mars, he has really strong lead female characters. How does your character fall into that mold, you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's why I was so excited to get on board, was knowing that Rob and Diane both have a track record for making these strong female characters. There's nothing tokenistic about them being women. They're very strong heroines in their own right, and it's an interesting one too. You know, she was bubbly and vivacious and type A personality, but when we meet her in the show, she's sullen and cynical and very hard on herself. And getting to watch her come through this trajectory and be weirdly more human than a lot of characters are, even though she's a zombie, I thought was a really refreshing role.
Thank you very much.
Thank
So this is iZombie's based off of a comic book. What drew you when you saw that comic? What made you think, okay, this needs to be a TV show that we all need to see?
The head of Warner Brothers Development told me it was, and that was a big part of the inspiration. And they really came to me less about we need to get a zombie show on the air as we need the next great female hero on the CW. We need the next Buffy. We need the next Veronica, and what she did was she put the first issue of iZombie on my desk, and there's this great cover that shows her with this platinum blonde hair, and she looks badass, and she said, "This is the girl." And I was editing the Veronica Mars movie at the time and was already writing a pilot, and I tried to say no, and she wouldn't let me, much to my happiness now. And finally, I was so swamped, I asked if I could write it with my frequent writing partner, Diane Ruggiero, and they jumped on board, and that made it doable for me.
So what can you tell me more about your character on iZombie?
My character is Blaine De Beers. He is the yin to Liv's yang. She's the opposite of the spectrum. He's the main heavy. Let's just say that, okay? He becomes a zombie at the same time she becomes a zombie, and where she is having trouble getting used to her newfound zombieism, this newfound plight. He has less of a moral compass and is accepting of it.
I was going to ask, iZombie is a many different genres in one show. It's very unique. What was it like working on something so different than anything else on television right now?
It was a lot of fun, and from the get-go, there was a different vibe on set. You know, because there is that mix of, there's so many elements where, you know, like in a given day you're shooting an action sequence, kind of a romantic scene, and then something that's just outrageous and hilarious, you know. And I've never had that opportunity before, so I can't speak to how, you know, that typically feels, but to me, you know, I left walking away going, I think this thing's got the magic. Like, this might be good. It's got all the right stuff in place.
I'm not right there.
You got a lot of choices.
If you can't find one out of there, we shouldn't be on TV. I think it's for those.
Are you guys still with us?
Well, if you miss a show, good news. We have one next week.
See you guys next time.
Bye.